Let's keep.
Yeah, and then we'll do some cups. We'll want everybody together, so like I got a little station, so to speak, so.
Your side.
Like.
Yeah,
So then
I'm
that way
upside
it's
down right now.
easier, so like.
Screen.
This is our scallop station, this is our artichoke station. This is our bruschetta station.
Oh yeah,
And then our
that was the
jalapeno
magic.
popper station. So
But
we
I
can
also
just
want to
use
be
that
bigger on
for
the screen.
Why
that
do we not
variant,
know how
we'll
to
just
do
strain
it?
it.
Okay, pin him.
And then the dates are simple as well.
Oh yeah, and also I don't want to be the one who is that we're
Smooth
designing.
Now, and then you'll load them
Well,
up.
that's an
Somewhere.
interesting
So-
date. I've never actually opened the date like that.
Look at
Oh,
you. All right.
All right, you guys ready?
We're ready.
6:01, let's do it.
You can start letting them in. I'll get on Facebook.
Yeah, let's let them in so that it always takes everybody a few minutes. to
Well,
get
and
in.
we're gonna, like, it's gonna be.
All right, you're ready for me to start admitting.
For anyone just starting. You know, just 'cause of that.
Right.
In progress.
Put everyone in the Zoom reading room.
How many people are on?
We have 26 in this meeting.
Wow. Okay, I'm excited about this too.
All right, and now you are live on Facebook.
And everyone's in?
Yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome. We're super excited to have our holiday appetizer event for you tonight. I'm with Steph Ryder, the Speed Rider.
And Chef Jude.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, guys. We're happy to have you.
And looking forward to the holidays coming up. A couple of things we really want to talk to you about tonight is getting organized. We have a lot to do tonight.
That's why we're doing it already, ladies.
So how to get organized.
Let's do it.
How to get organized. All
And
right.
set up so
First
that we
things
stay on
first.
tape.
That's right. We're gonna be making 5 appetizers and a cocktail tonight. We're gonna be making some Italian bruschetta.
Fantastic.
We're gonna be making some bacon wrapped scallops.
Oh, my favorite.
We're gonna be making some spinach artichoke dip.
Okay, always a classic.
That's right. We're gonna be making some jalapeno popper deviled eggs.
Okay, I've never tried those and I'm really excited about that.
It's deviled eggs with a little kick, and bacon
Always like
goes with
spice.
everything, right?
Always.
And then we're gonna be making some goat cheese stuffed bacon wrapped dates. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
All right.
sounds
So
good.
first things first, we want to make sure everyone has their eggs hard boiled. If you do not have your eggs hard boiled, I suggest get a pot of water on with your eggs in it.
And how many eggs do we need?
10.
Okay, so get your hot water boiling.
Yeah,
get
just
your
eggs in your pot, cold water, fill it up about 1 inch above your eggs. Turn it on high, let it come to a boil. Once your water comes to a boil, remove it from the heat, put a lid on it, let it set for 12 minutes. And then we'll pull them out of the water, and then we're gonna wanna just shock them real quick, little ice water bath, and then those will be able to sit till we're ready to, we'll do those last. So if no one has hard boiled eggs yet, get those going. We wanna make sure our oven's turned on.
Okay.
We're gonna be using a couple different temperatures, 350, 375, 500 to do our scallops.
Okay.
I have our oven set at 380, so we'll be able to, right now I'm cooking the bacon off for our deviled eggs.
Okay,
I always cook my bacon in the oven because it has a nice consistency and crispness. Plus you're not making a mess on your countertop as well, right?
do we want to show them how we started
Yeah, we
that
can.
real quick? Just,
So all I
show-
did was, I need.
Okay,
And there's our timer there. So all I did was lay the bacon out on a sheet pan. I lined it with foil. And all we want to do here is get it going. That's crisp. I'm gonna let it go for 2 more minutes and that'll be as crisp as we need it. I'll try this at home, but still a little rubbery. No, we want it to be crisp. We need it to be crunchy so that way it'll break up as much as possible. We'll do 2 more minutes. And those are gonna be for our deviled eggs.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, now we're gonna get our other stations set up. So one station, we have our dates. If you haven't popped the seeds out of those yet, don't worry, because we don't need to do them right away. But we'll show you how to do that. So we have our dates. Now it's good, some bacon, so that will hold off on that.
Okay.
We have
Next
our,
station.
Really quick, Chef.
yes.
How long are we cooking the bacon?
Alexa,
If we're in the oven at 380, I put our bacon in for 12 minutes to start. So I'd say about 15 minutes, it should be good to go.
okay, so get your eggs started, start your bacon. 12, 14 minutes on the bacon. Go ahead and then you can take a look at it, see if it's done yet.
Yep, if it's crisp enough, then we'll pull it out. If not, give it a couple more minutes. I'd give it about 2-3 more minutes. I'd do 2 minutes at a time in intervals. So it's the crispness that you're looking for.
Gotcha. All right.
We have our spinach artichoke dip. We're gonna need a couple things for this. We're gonna need a pan because we're gonna cook it first.
Okay.
We got our cream cheese, our spinach. We got our artichokes. We got our diced tomatoes, our sour cream, and we're gonna need a baking dish. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cook all this, and our cheese is staying in the refrigerator.
Okay.
We're gonna cook it, and then we're gonna transfer it into our baking dish, pop it in the oven, gives a nice little crispness to it, and
Okay.
allows it to be a better consistency and not have it be so loose as if we were to pull it right out of here.
Then it would just be more runny.
Correct.
Okay.
So then that's our spinach artichoke dip.
Gotcha. We've got a lot going on tonight.
Mhm.
Feel like
We
we're
have our bruschetta mix
organized,
that will get going. We got our bread here.
right?
We got our fresh Roma
Perfect.
tomatoes in a bowl. We have some dried basil.
Perfect.
We'll need a little olive oil, balsamic vinegar for that.
Okay.
Grab this paper. Looks good, nice and crisp here. And then when you pull your bacon out of the oven, remember, it's always gonna crisp up a little more as you let it set some. So these guys will be good to go by the time we need them. Got your oil, some balsamic vinegar there.
Got that out.
I'll just place this guy in our non-working oven right now as a holding station.
Okay.
So that'll be fine. Then our scallop station, I have our scallops all ready to go. I have them semi-drying off. They're not wet. We don't want them to be too wet. So the
Yeah.
paper towel underneath them just kind of absorbing any residual water on those
Perfect.
guys. So those are ready for there. And then I have our,
Scallop station.
yeah, so this is our ingredients that we're gonna need for our sauce, our glaze that we're gonna baste our scallops with. Soy sauce, some syrup, little powdered garlic, crushed red peppers, and some green onions, scallions.
So if you guys want to set all your ingredients out in stations like we just did, it's probably a good idea. So as we get started today, you have everything kind of set up because we know we go a little bit quickly and we want to make sure you guys can keep up. Does anybody have any questions right now? Does anybody need an extra minute to get things rolling or are we feeling all set, ready to go?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, we
Okay,
need a
let's-
minute, and yes, we're set.
yeah, vote, we're set.
All
All
right,
right, let's,
all
what
right,
are we
let's
starting with?
let's start with our spinach artichoke dip. Because that we can make and operate at the same time. So if that's kind of doing its thing, we'll be able to do some other things as well.
Perfect.
Okay. So what we're gonna need is our white onion. I've already chopped it up nice and small dice. So then that way, nice and small. This way, you're not gonna get a big chunk of onion. Remember, we talked about
Mhm.
what's our application,
Right.
right? So in this application, we want them to be small. You don't want to take a bite of that dip and really crunch into an onion. Plus, we're gonna cook these well enough to where they are translucent, so they're gonna be very, very soft by the end of our
Perfect.
process here, okay? We got our garlic that's
Which I can
minced up.
smell way over here. It smells good.
Yummy, huh? So we got our garlics that's nice and minced.
Perfect.
Mhm. In our pan, what we're gonna wanna do, get our pan on. We're gonna want it nice and hot, so we're gonna saute. So this guy's gonna get turned on. We're gonna take a little bit of olive oil. And not too much, just enough so we can cook the onions and the garlic, yeah? And then we're going to add our onions. We don't want to add our garlic right away. Let's let our onions cook down some, so then that way we don't burn our garlic.
Right.
So we want to let this cook down a little bit before we add that. We got our garlic ready to go. Okay, next step, let's get our tomatoes cut for our bruschetta.
Okay.
So bruschetta, this would be a classic bruschetta, a tomato, basil, garlic, olive oil, a little bit of balsamic vinegar. And we're gonna make these on crostinis, which is gonna be our bread. We'll slice them and just lightly crisp them in the oven really quick. So then that way, what happens is when we put this, it'll have liquid from the tomato and the balsamic vinegar. So when we crisp them, it'll help absorb that liquid so that we don't have a soggy bread when we go to eat it.
That sounds good.
So these guys, what's our application, right? Same thing with our onions. We want to make sure that they're not going to be big chunks, but we want them to be a small dice. So the easiest way to do these guys, I think, is I slice them down to the size I'm wanting to dice them. So if you see,
The correct thickness.
correct.
that
So
looks
then
good.
that way, when we go to make our dice, then we go this way. So now we have a nice uniform.
That makes it
dice.
easy.
Mhm. Just like such. Here our tomato going, our onion over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna stir that.
All right. So with bruschetta, you can make all kinds of bruschetta. You can do smoked salmon bruschetta with a pesto sauce. You can do goat cheese and pear bruschettas.
Love a pear bruschetta.
Yeah, with
That's a good
some
one.
goat cheese on it,
Mhm.
even gorgonzola and caramelized onions. You know, it's a great appetizer and it's endless. So it just goes on and on and on and on and on with whatever it is you want to put on top of crostinis. This one's good. You take this for a leftover and grill some chicken breast,
Ooh,
top it on that. Little Parmesan or mozzarella cheese into the oven really quick and stick it on there. And
yeah, that's wonderful.
yeah, serve that over some pasta. You can put that on a salad. So there's multiple different ways we can use bruschetta and how to make bruschetta.
I like that idea.
How's that onion over there?
It's looking good. Just trying to keep it so that everything is getting cooked evenly.
Good.
Starting to see a little bit of translucence.
Yeah,
Starting.
starting to translucent a little bit. Perfect. This process. The more you do it, the faster you get, right?
I'll try. It would take me a lot longer to chop down. I don't know about any of you, but you're fast.
The claw, always using
Yeah.
the claw, so that's a big piece to it. You always want to remember, especially cutting with tomatoes, you don't want to force the knife. You want to let the knife go through it. You notice that sometimes if it doesn't slice right through that skin, then your knife isn't sharp enough. So you just
Right.
want to run it on the steel, fine tune that blade a little bit so that way you'll be able to get nice clean cuts like that. Right, we'll cut this guy and then we'll get back to our spin dip.
We're not quite fully translucent just yet.
That's okay.
Okay.
I think we're go ahead, we can go ahead and add, we need 1 tablespoon of garlic in there. Go ahead and add a little garlic in here. There we go. Now save the rest for our bruschetta.
Perfect.
That feels like a professional chef.
I do? Perfect.
See, look at
That's a
that.
good face.
1 year later
Feels it happen.
and look like a professional. You're getting it, you're getting it.
Don't leave me in the kitchen alone.
No?
That's all I have to say.
The smoke alarm is when you know it's done?
Yes, exactly.
No, it's
Or
not, Brent.
underdone. Yeah,
That's just how I
exactly.
know it's done.
Usually it's overdone, unfortunately.
It's all right. But we've learned a lot of
We
tips and
have learned
tricks
some great
over the
tips.
last year, you know?
Just even cutting the tomatoes, like you cut them, it's just helps.
Yeah, remember, it's the application. What are we doing, right?
Mhm.
So we want to think about it when we're going into it. So then that way you don't get into like, oh, I should have done it that way. But the beauty about cooking is you're always learning about it. So when you do it one way, you'll learn like, oh, I need to do it like this next time, or I need to do it like this next time.
Absolutely.
Mhm. So now our tomatoes almost done.
Perfect. I love that you can use this on so many different dishes
Oh,
because,
it's unbelievable.
you know, sometimes you have leftovers and it's great to use that leftover with something else. I just really love that you always bring that into the conversation because this looks like a lot of bruschetta. And if you don't eat all that tonight, it's a great.
Yeah, and
For your
when you
chicken
make,
tomorrow.
when making bruschetta, you want to make it a day ahead of time.
Oh,
Is the
because that
goal,
flavor is
because the
blend.
flavor, yeah, absolutely. The blend of the flavor is much better if you let it sit overnight. It's gonna lose a lot of liquid during that time, but you're definitely gonna get that. All right, so we're caramelizing there. All right, now we're gonna want to add some.
Is it okay to keep the temperature still
Yep,
at a high
nice and
heat?
hot. Yep,
Okay.
nice and hot.
So everybody keep your temperature hot while you're mixing everything in.
Since we added liquid to it, then that
It
stops
does.
the process of
It does.
burning our garlic.
Yep. We could tell the difference.
So all we're doing right now is just getting our artichokes ready. We're gonna strain them. Try to get as much liquid out of there as possible. And if you got quartered artichokes or whole hearts, not a big deal. They break up over the process of cooking. If you got whole ones, you can just kind of break them up with your hands and we're gonna go ahead and add them
Okay.
in. So now we're gonna go ahead and add these guys in.
Leave any liquid in there, everything, just dump it in.
I strained them already. So I
Okay.
strained all the
All right,
water
I
that's
missed
in there.
Okay.
So then that way we don't.
You don't have any excess liquid.
Yeah, we want to take as much of the water of these out as possible. So
Perfect.
these guys, what we'll do is we'll just
Cut them a
quarter
little
them.
bit.
Yep. Just to break up this root piece here, because that's the piece that won't break up. But as far as the heart, the little leaf pieces, those will break up as we're
Cooking it.
continuing to cook, right?
Gotcha.
How's everyone doing at home? Everyone keeping up? We got to slow down.
Yes, slow down.
Okay, we'll slow down a little bit.
There's two people we're trying. Okay. This is awesome. Okay, wait. Too high.
The good news is this has to cook for a few minutes.
That's right.
Everybody, whoever started their bacon, once we started, check your bacon. If you don't have a timer on, check your bacon.
How are we looking over here? Looking good? Looking good. All right, we're gonna let this
Good.
guy, yep, it's gonna cook down a little bit, a few minutes. And we're gonna wanna add our spinach. We're gonna wanna add our sambuca.
To that?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I was thinking that was the drink,
I mean, you can drink sambuca if you want to.
right? I wasn't thinking that was that. Okay.
That right there, this,
Isn't sambuca licorice? No.
it
what's
is
the
a
flavor?
licorice flavor.
Okay,
It's anise, it would be the correct flavor of it,
okay.
which is the licorice flavor.
Oh, yeah, it's like the black licorice.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
So anise. Anise.
And yes, you're right.
That's the ticket to your artichoke dip.
Really? So that's,
Yeah.
okay, well, see,
That's the difference. If you don't have any sambuca, white wine will work.
it's just a different flavor.
I mean, you could use any clear alcohol, and all we're doing is adding that to deglaze. We're adding sambuca because of the flavor profile. It's gonna give it a different distinct flavor than a
Right.
white wine or vodka. With vodka, you wouldn't even really notice.
Taste it, yeah,
White wine, you probably won't even really notice it either. But
right.
this one, it'll be there and you won't recognize it. So it won't be like, oh, I took a bite of black licorice. You won't
Right.
notice any of that.
Because it's blending
all-
with the flavor.
Absolutely. All the other flavors in there are blending very, very
Interesting.
well.
I would definitely think you would taste it, so I'm interested to try it because it is a pretty prominent.
Very,
Flavor.
very strong, but goes well with what we got going here with the artichokes, the spinach, and then with the cheeses all in there as one.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Looking forward to it.
So that's
All
ready.
right, so we're gonna let that cook.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna get our
add to
spinach.
it. We're getting everything going.
Yeah, we're gonna get our spinach going. Why is we're using fresh spinach. So if you at home have your frozen spinach, just make sure that it's thawed. You wanna squeeze out any excess, right? We don't wanna add a whole lot of liquid to this. Since we're using fresh, we're gonna keep it on high so we can evaporate that liquid.
Gotcha.
Because this is gonna put off a lot more than what we're really needing. So we'll just keep it on high and keep it stirring, and then as that liquid's evaporating, we'll be good to go.
Perfect. So we have a bag. How much are we gonna use? What?
Question?
Question?
Let's go ahead.
One is, could you use, and I don't know how to pronounce it, it's UZO. I'm not sure, I think.
Uzo?
Uzo in,
The
replacement of the,
Sambuca?
yes,
Yes, similar flavor.
okay,
Mhm.
so yes, you could, and then the next one, I think they just misheard. They asked if you said, anisette instead of saying.
Anise?
But you were saying.
Anise is a flavor.
Anise.
A-N-I-S-E, right?
Yes, anise. Yep.
Anise.
Anise,
A-N-I-S-E
yep.
is the flavor that we were trying to get with the Sambuca, which is that licorice, black licorice flavor.
Mhm.
Good question, though. I love it.
So if we're using fresh, you said, right, how much? Well, this one will gauge. So what we're gonna do, obviously,
You're kind
spinach,
of coating your pan.
well,
so-
spinach cooks down. So
Yeah.
we're gonna add some now. Let's not go too crazy with it.
So that
we're
was
gonna
about
add some.
2/3 of the bag.
Yeah, 2 real big handfuls.
Okay, yep.
About
or
2/3 of the
Yep,
bag, yeah.
okay. Now we're gonna kind of watch it cook down, which, I love spinach, so
It's delicious.
one of my favorites.
You know,
And I
this,
think it's
and with this dish, like you said, with chicken, stuffed chicken with this, you can
really good.
bake chicken, dice it up, stuff a bell pepper with this.
Oh, love that.
Totally different,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
and
but
something
really,
you wouldn't expect. So, the beauty of these appetizers is you can have your leftovers, then turn them into
a whole nother dish.
later day. Yeah, absolutely. Entrees.
Is it entree? Absolutely.
So see
I
how
do love it with fish too. I think that would be a great application.
it
the
most
white fish.
certainly is. So see how much spinach we logged, like see
Wow.
how it will sound.
Oh, yeah.
So we're definitely gonna wanna add, I'm gonna say the whole thing. If we added what we added and that's how much we got,
Yeah, you'd have to dump the rest in it.
let's go ahead
Because
and do
it
it.
does reduce down so much.
Absolutely. When you saute spinach, like if you just wanna saute spinach and have it on the side of some fish or some chicken, little bit of lemon juice, garlic, salt, pepper, and just a quick saute in a pan, it done in seconds, really.
Love it.
Yeah, just amazing vegetable to go with any of your protein choices.
Absolutely. No, it's a great, we don't make it very often, but I forget about it, but this is a great way to do it.
You
Don't
see,
forget to check your bacon at home. If you guys haven't pulled it out, it's probably gotta be pulled out by now. Don't you think?
I would say your bacon should be ready. So see, we got a good consistency going on here. Not a whole lot of spinach, not all artichoke, some onion, some tomato, little green chili in there and that rotel.
Ooh.
That's another little secret.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We always like a little zip in ours somehow.
Well, and the green
That's
chili's pretty mild unless
Mm-hmm.
you're, finding some nice hot ones. But it just adds a little different flavor to the mix. All right, so now that our spinach is all wilted, let's go ahead and deglaze with our sambuca. And then we're gonna let that reduce down. So we'll let that cook.
Okay.
And we want to let that cook for probably about a good 3-4 minutes. So then we can reduce any of that excess liquid. See how much liquid we got
Oh,
there?
yeah.
Like if you push all of it to one side,
Oh, yeah. you
Yeah,
feel
see
it.
how much
Yeah.
liquid we got in here?
Wow.
So we're gonna want to evaporate that. So only by cooking it as high as we are right now, we'll evaporate that liquid quickly, but it's also providing lots of flavor.
Perfect.
So that guy's there. We're gonna get it going. Make sure our cream cheese, if your cream cheese isn't pulled out, let's make sure we got our cream cheese pulled out. That way it's nice and room
So,
temperature.
Okay.
So when we add it to our, that we don't get, you're not having like clumps of cream cheese stuff in there. So
Right.
by being able to have room temperature and typically dice it up into smaller chunks, so then that way it melts.
It's gonna melt evenly
Yeah.
without, that would be, you wouldn't want that for sure.
All right, while that guy's doing that,
Okay.
let's get
We've got
our
chopped
next
tomato.
station ready.
All right.
So we can go ahead. Let's we can stuff some dates. So let's get our goat cheese out. Remember, goat cheese softens very, very quickly.
Quickly.
So we want to use it not in a real quick hurry, but you don't want it sitting out like our cream cheese and getting that soft. Otherwise, it's just going to be messy and all
Right.
over.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to be doing with this is basically just stuffing our dates with that. We'll try something and see if it'll work. It may or may not work, but we'll see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off just the corner of this and we'll see if we can
Squeeze it out.
almost pipe it into there
Oh,
and see how that works.
now I always worried like that cheese is gonna get runny and melt everywhere,
So this one won't, right? It'll get soft and soft and
but it's
soft.
not gonna be that runny cheese.
Correct.
Okay, good.
So it's a semi-firm cheese, means that it's firm when it's cold, like cheddar, but it softens as the room temperature.
Perfect.
And it's nice and creamy. Let's get our spinach dip. See how much liquid we lost there?
Oh, yeah.
See, look at that. It's almost all.
Oh, wow.
Almost all.
That was
gone.
pretty quick.
As you see, the water starting to, see that?
Yep. And it's really kind of mushing together, but
Yep.
it's really cooking up. Looks good.
Yeah, and that's the difference between throwing that Fred. That's how much water is in spinach. So talk about getting hydrated when you eat a salad. That's one way to get it done. right there.
Absolutely.
If you don't like goat cheese, is there a good sub?
Yeah, I mean, you can use feta. It's a different flavor, so it's going to be saltier. It's not going to be as creamy. It might seem too salty because we're going to add bacon to this. So
How about Brie?
you could do brie. Brie cheese would be a good one. You got to be careful because brie cheese will actually melt like you're talking about.
Right,
It is
be more
gooey.
runny.
It's a soft cheese. So when we heat it, it will ooze all over the place, regardless of what we're doing to it. So that one's a tough one.
Queso fresco?
Queso fresco, if you want to go south of the border, would be close.
But it is more of
Yep.
a,
It would be close to the consistency of this without that flavor, with more of a mild flavor.
I was gonna
to
say, yeah, it does have a mild flavor.
Mhm. Nice creaminess too, so just like our goat cheese.
Good one, good add.
She Googled
So
it.
you sliced these
Here,
at the
yeah,
top, you're gonna show us how
I'll
to do
show you
one,
how to do
because
one.
the seed is out of there.
Yep,
So
the
that
pit
was
comes out nice and easy. All
pit.
you
I
did
should say pit, not seed.
is take the knife and just cut a slit in it, just like this. Not all the way, but then you'll open it and then that guy will pop right out, just like such.
That'll also keep any cheese from like oozing, because it's gonna
That's
have
why
a
we
full
don't-
bottom.
Right, well, and that's why we want to keep it the way that we got them, so that way we can kind of
Little
close
pocket.
it back up.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
And then it will allow the date to cook and the bacon to kind of cook the flavors in with it.
Yep, and evenly, that's what we're looking for, is making sure that our bacon can cook evenly. So let's open these guys. And see if this theory of mine will work out.
We're looking for the squeeze. Like a little pastry.
Yeah.
That worked.
It's a little more tough. But this way, you're not having to fight that goat cheese, so to speak, on a spoon and from one spoon to the next and on your fingers, because goat cheese will stick to your fingers and then get all over the place.
We're still losing more water.
More.
Is it good to just still leave our spinach dip cooking
Yep,
at that high temperature?
I think where we're going, we're almost there though. Since the
Okay.
last time we looked at it, I think we're gonna be real close to add our cream cheese. So our little method of madness here is working out fairly nicely.
Ooh, those look good.
You ever eaten dates?
I like them actually.
They're really good.
I like them cooked like this with an appetizer or something.
Mhm.
I've had bacon wrapped dates, but not with
With the goat
cheese.
cheese in it.
Yeah, so it's an interesting twist.
They're a great source of protein. Those little protein balls that you see all
Mhm.
over the place. It's the main
They're
key
date?
right
Oh,
there.
really?
Yeah. It's the binder. It's what helps them stay together.
Interesting. Well, you see people cooking with them more often these days.
Uh-huh.
It's become more popular.
Yeah, and I think it's the understanding of it, you know, that they're really sweet.
Actually, they really are. You don't think about it. This is getting, I
We're
feel
about
like,
there.
yeah, I feel like we're probably there and it's
Let's
definitely
do-
warm.
Let's do it to it then.
All right. We're gonna open up our cream cheese.
Mm-hmm.
We're still keeping the temperature this hot.
We can slightly turn down a little bit. So we're on high, blasting on high.
But you do have to get all these flavors to
Yeah.
mesh together.
And then all I do is I cut it down into smaller cubes like this, so that way it'll
Oh, fantastic.
melt a little bit easier. So once we add our cheese, you're gonna wanna stir, not like we were doing the orzo, but we wanna make sure that we keep mixing that around.
This is certainly where you're gonna get the creaminess.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, if you want to lighten the calories on it, not that this is low calorie, you could use a lower calorie cream cheese, right?
Yes.
And is that going to change the flavor at all? Or is that still going to work the same? A little different consistency, maybe?
A little different consistency, your flavor's gonna slightly change. It's not gonna be a big enough notice that it's gonna make too big of a difference, so.
So if we
One
wanted
of
to
the
get a little
things-
lower calorie count on this, we
Yeah.
could lighten that up.
Correct.
Okay, good to know.
So we're gonna wanna make sure that that's fully melted.
Yep, working on that.
We're gonna get our Monterey Jack cheese ready to go. That's gonna help give it that cheesiness to it.
It's nice to blend the two together because they're
Yeah.
very different flavors.
Well, so since we cut our cubes up, if we didn't, you'd keep messing up with that giant blob of cream cheese in there. Now you're
Absolutely.
able to evenly
See that?
mix that all in, yeah?
Absolutely.
How's everyone doing at home? We keeping up?
So far, so good.
All right.
Any questions? Does anyone have any questions?
You should take a drink in between chops.
It's what?
You should take a sip of the cocktail in between cooking stations.
Hey, we'll get to our cocktail in just a second.
Okay, I have a little fear of burning.
You're okay. So
Okay.
we can turn our heat down if you think we're on too high. Go ahead and turn it down.
Okay, I feel like maybe we are.
That's all right. Yep, let's turn it down then.
We're a full-on sous chef tonight.
Half a cup. Monterey Jack cheese.
Fantastic, looks amazing.
All those classes of training and it's paid off.
Yeah.
Really, it's helping.
We left our own tonight, chef.
See that? All right, then we're
And
gonna
we
Let's see
make the
that.
dates a day in advance.
Yes, you can make them a few days in advance if you want. We're adding a quarter cup of our sour cream. Just gotta keep them chilled. You can wrap them in bacon and have them ready to go. So that way the day of the party, all you gotta do, pop them out. I would let them come up to room temperature a little bit. So before you just blast them into the oven, I would let it soften just slightly, probably maybe 10 minutes maximum. And then that way you'll be able to get them into the oven, get them ready to go. You throw that bacon in there right away, it's not gonna cook the way that you're looking for it.
We have one person who said, yes, need cocktail. I'm working so hard to keep up.
Oh, where's our cocktail?
Should we make it so they could see how to make it, or has everybody
we're-
already made it? Because maybe that's the case.
We're ready, so we were waiting to get to this stage here to make our cocktail.
So should I turn this off?
You're ready to turn it on.
And I can understand, I mean, this is a good consistency. Everything's totally melted. There's no clumps of cheese anywhere. It's all fully melted.
Good, nice consistency, very well blended.
Very well blended.
Good job, Beth.
Now, what do we do with it now? Do we just leave it on this?
We can just
Do we
let it
cover
set right there. Nope, because it's gonna go into a vessel like such. That's gonna then be popped into the oven.
Gotcha.
So right there, it's gonna sit just
Set.
fine.
Okay.
I do
Perfect.
have another question.
Let's go ahead, question.
Is there another fruit instead of dates? I easily find the dried ones, but not the fresh ones.
As far as,
To substitute. Could you substitute a date with something else like it?
Or if you have tips for finding fresh dates.
sprouts.
Tender.
Not that kind of date.
Thank you. Fresh dates, they shouldn't be usually hard to find, always like, trying to think in the grocery store whereabouts they're gonna be mostly. I was gonna say in the
Produce?
produce, they're gonna be typically on some type of little end cap. And I would always just ask your produce person at your local grocery store and they'll
See
be
what
able
they
to
have?
point you in the right direction, yeah. Yeah, they should always have typically, some fresh dates available.
Unless you're in the pandemic and short of supply. Which could happen, but
Which could happen. All right, so these
call
are.
ahead. If you're wondering if
ready?
they have it, it'd be helpful to call ahead.
All right, let's get to our cocktail.
Okay.
Our cranberry prosecco fizz.
A fun, light
Mhm.
drink to have when you're making appetizers.
And a
which I
little
love.
different. You ever had a cocktail with rosemary in it?
But I love rosemary.
Yes, one of my favorites. Smells delicious. So what we're gonna wanna do,
And you know, rosemary grows really well in Arizona. So if you have a plant out, you can just use it right off your plant in your yard.
yeah, absolutely. Let's make sure the dogs stay away from me. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna kind of not muddle it, but I'm gonna release the oils in here.
By just getting it a little moist.
Well, I rinsed it, which
Okay.
is what I did first, but just by like squeezing it, so crunching it a little bit, right?
And the smell is coming out for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, so we're releasing those oils. We don't want to grind it. We don't want to chop it because you don't want a big old but we don't want to mess it up too much to where we're going to lose a lot. So that way you're not drinking the rosemary. But we're going to get that in there. So once we've released our oils.
Right, so it's very aromatic right now.
Correct.
Interesting.
We're going to then want to or in our,
Do we have any ice in there or is it just the rosemary?
it's just the rosemary right now.
Okay.
You want to add some ice or we want to add the ice to our glasses?
Add to our glasses. I was
Add
just
it to our-
asking.
Yep,
Yep.
either one. Let's, here, we'll do this. We'll add our fresh cranberries.
Okay.
This one you could make in advance. If you do, I would pull the rosemary out after like an hour, 2 hours, so it infuses, or wait till when you're gonna serve it to put some in there. I would like to get that rosemary flavor in there, so you'll smell it, it'll be distinct, but
Right.
not overpowering.
Gotcha.
So it's
So
gonna,
no more than an hour leaving it sitting there.
it's gonna pair very, very well with what we're doing today with cranberry juice. So we got some cranberries, some fresh rosemary. We're gonna put some cranberry juice in here. We're gonna add
So we
our,
use about half of this, about down to there.
our orange liqueur. Struggling with this guy. So you can use this one here or the Grand Marnier, so any type of orange liqueur will work.
Perfect.
The reason we're gonna put these ingredients in first is so that way when we pour our bubbly in, it'll stir itself.
Right.
It's nice and slow.
So it's sort of the bubbly is mixing it, in other words. I love that.
Yep. We'll use a Prosecco because it's a sweet, sparkling wine.
Are we gonna fill these with ice?
Yeah, about halfway would be good.
Halfway.
Got a little lime wedge to go with it. Understand. Let's give it a little shaken up. What do they say? Shaken, not stirred.
Exactly. And it looks pretty.
Oh,
I love the cranberry because it makes it look really pretty.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's a little too big there. Let's see if we got
It's like a
one.
branch.
Let's see if we got a smaller one in here. There we go.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
And just like that.
Is that how yours looks at home?
How does it taste? I think that's what everybody wants to know.
Okay, one quick sip. Oh, that's really good. I really like it. Nice flavors. I do like the rosemary in there. I love
Yeah,
that.
something a little different, but you'll definitely recognize it. And the fresh really goes a long way, especially with our cranberries. So let it sit for a while and then go ahead.
I
and
could see
serve
where
it.
the flavors would actually continue to work together. So
Mhm.
that's really good. Fantastic.
All right. Moving right along, shall we? Let's get back to our bruschetta. So
Okay.
we are gonna need a little saute pan. This will work. All we're gonna do is heat our garlic. And we're just gonna want to heat it up real quick, real fast, and it's just gonna help enhance the flavor.
Okay.
Little roasted flavor to our bruschetta. So olive oil. can do is like 1, maybe 2 minutes. So that way we can bring out those aromatics in our
Right.
garlic, change the flavor. You can use straight roasted garlic if you wanted to. So
I love that you're putting a cooked item in with the bruschetta too, to enhance that flavor of
absolutely.
the tomato. That's a
Absolutely.
good way to do it.
And it'll be a fast process. Burning garlic happens so quickly, so
Right.
you want to make sure that you keep an eye on this guy. The reason we want to get our bruschetta done and going so we can let those flavors mend together before we go ahead and serve our guests.
Right,
So it's almost frying at this point, essentially. So
right.
real quick, real fast. As soon as you see it start to turn slightly brown, well, that's where we're at. We're done. You don't want to go too far. Then it'll give it a nutty flavor, and we're not looking for that. We're just looking for just that enhancement of the garlic.
Right.
So that guy, we're gonna go right on into here. Smell
I know, it
that.
smells amazing.
Mhm. All right, and then we're gonna want to add our olive oil and our balsamic vinegar and our basil. A little salt and pepper. Like that. That. Just give it a stir.
Amazing, you go. Now you're smelling it, you're just smelling the, all of the spices working together.
Yeah,
A
absolutely.
little bit of liquid help too, and
Yeah,
the
you can
garlic.
smell the olive oil in there. You
Mhm.
can smell the balsamic in there. The balsamic's strong, so you don't want to use too much. You just want to add to our freshness of what we got going here. So let's let that guy just set and mend together. And let's move on to our next project. Next project, we got our dates.
Okay.
We can wrap these in bacon. Let's do that. So we're gonna want to get our bacon. We're gonna want to get our toothpicks. And I want to get nice crispy bacon for when we chop it up for our deviled eggs. We'll just reuse this pan since it's already got bacon on it.
Perfect.
So with these guys, really what we want to do is we can cut them down. So we want to think,
That makes sense that you don't want it too big.
right, so if we go in thirds, we'll be able to wrap them.
Okay. And you want to use the thin bacon, right? You don't want that extra thick.
No, that thick cut bacon is not going to get what we need, but because all we want is it just to wrap around.
One,
We don't want to go all the way around too many times, then it's
Gotcha.
not going to cook. The outside will cook, but the inside won't.
good point.
So we just want to make sure if we do them,
But you wanna make sure where the slit is, like, right?
On
You don't
the
want it to
back.
be down.
So if we go like such, where
The seam for the bacon's on the back,
on the bottom there,
Okay.
just like that, and our cheese is facing up.
up, so it's not, okay.
And I typically just will lay them out like this, so that way.
Can wrap them quicker.
Mhm. When you're doing these for 100 people, you gotta go try to roll as many as you can at a
As
time.
fast as you can.
Yeah. But just makes it easier, I think, then that way you just, the process is the same. It's just grab it and roll it, grab it and roll it. Tear apart, roll it, tear apart, so it's just making it more efficient if we set them up like this. There we go. So we get these guys going in the oven, and then we'll move right along to, see, we got bruschettas done.
Mhm.
Our spinach artichoke dip is ready to go in the oven. Then we gotta do our deviled eggs,
Okay,
and then we gotta do our scallops. So we can get our scallops wrapped in bacon and get those ready. Those we're gonna cook in for quite a few minutes on
Yeah.
high heat.
in the pan.
We'll just do them on a sheet pan. just
Oh, you
like-
are?
yep,
Okay.
Just like this in the oven. Okay, whether we broil them or we do them on high at 500, but they're gonna be pretty fast. I think it's 8 minutes, just enough to crisp the bacon. That'll allow the scallop to be cooked as well. We don't wanna overcook it,
Right.
But
this
we
is
don't-
delicate.
but we don't wanna undercook our bacon. So that's another piece too.
Absolutely.
Like if you're gonna skewer them and put them on the grill, so one of the things I like to do is I will par cook the bacon a little bit, just so it's just slightly crispy on the outsides, so that way you don't overcook our scallops with the grill, because the grill's gonna have a higher heat, it's gonna
Right.
dry it out a little more. So what I do is I just par cook them so that way the bacon will crisp up on the oven or on the grill, and then that allows the scallop to cook in a good amount of time.
Absolutely. I think one thing I wanted to mention to all of our audience today, we haven't asked a lot, but we would love for you to like us on Facebook, give us a Zillow review. If you enjoy doing this with us, put some feedback out there. We'd love to have a big audience joining us. I think today we have about 30 or so people, but we'd love to continue to grow our monthly cooking event, and we'd love that you guys join us. And there's a couple of you that have been joining for each month, and we really appreciate that as well.
From the beginning,
From the
actually.
beginning.
That's right.
That's a great point.
And get your suggestions in, because we're building next year's calendars.
That is so true.
So what you want to see and what you've always wanted to learn how to cook, we'd love to teach you.
Exactly.
All right, so we can get those guys in the oven.
Perfect.
So we still have our oven at
Oh, 380.
At 380.
Yep.
Let's start with 8 minutes on that, and then that way we'll be able to see how that goes. All right.
All right, we're
Now
getting closer.
we are. Now for the egg crack. So our eggs have been cooled. I shocked them. What I did was pull them out of our egg cooker and then put them in some nice ice water just to help cool them down as fast as possible.
Perfect.
And with these guys, if you just smush all the way around in your shell,
To be able to have a nice peel.
should pop just right off like such. Give them a little rinse, that way you get any residual shell off there.
Maybe those people who haven't tuned in from the beginning, one of our longtime viewers, Miranda, says, Chef Jude, I have a new appreciation for you after doing all of these appetizers.
Yeah, we went a little overboard and all over the board, but we wanted to show you that you can do a lot of this stuff in advance, which is the best. And then all you gotta do is pull them out, pop them in the oven, your guests show up and they thought you slaved in the kitchen all day.
So at a point tonight, when we think we could, everything that we've done could be, all have done in advance, maybe we kind of pause and say, this is how you'd leave it. And then we would pull it all out and then set it all up for the presentation, right?
So just like with our dates right now, put them on a plate, wrap them in plastic, into the oven.
Okay, perfect. That's a
Yep.
great idea.
Mhm.
And then you just cook them up before your event.
Correct. And then our bruschetta. Cover
We're
it.
done as of right now. Okay,
Into the, yeah. So then right before event, all we gotta do is cut our bread, lightly toast it, put our bruschetta mixture on it, and then set it out and serve.
perfect.
Same with these guys.
How about the artichoke? Same? We're at that point now?
Yep,
We've
We're
cooked
at
it,
that point.
it's ready to go, then just the oven cook would be last.
That's it. So all we could do is you could cook that in advance. You'd set it in the vessel that you're gonna throw in the oven would be the easiest.
Yeah.
So that way I would do the same thing. I would pull it out. If you're pulling it right out of the refrigerator and popping it into the oven, I would cover it at first, allowing it to heat all the way through and not just leaving a layer on the top. So that way it'll heat all the way through as you reheat it, and then you'll pop the top and allow it to put Parmesan cheese and allow that crust to top.
Perfect. So you really can do a lot of this all the day before, even 2 days before.
You could do
And then
it all
cook it
a
up.
week ahead of time if you wanted to.
Wow. that's
So
really
everything,
helpful.
everything, once you do it, will hold in the refrigerator up to 10 days.
Okay, that's a great idea because it's so hard to prep all of this the day of the party. Like that's not happening.
Well, and then by the time you put it out on the counter or, wherever you're gonna set up,
It's messy.
you don't
it's
wanna see it
dirty.
anymore.
Yes,
Yeah, you don't wanna
exactly.
see it anymore.
I like that idea. Makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, so like if you're gonna have a big party on Saturday and you do one thing every day instead of slaving in the kitchen all day, one day you do it bits at a time, and that way it allows you to pace yourself. And then when you go to serve it, all it is just reheating and cooking it.
That's
Makes it
perfect.
easier, right?
Right.
So we'll cut our eggs in half. We're gonna need a knife, or I mean a spoon, please. Nice, perfectly cooked egg yolk.
They said this, Ryder team, this was awesome idea for Thanksgiving apps. So you don't
Perfect.
have to cook it with all the other stuff.
Yeah, with all the other
Yeah,
stuff,
it's a
and that
great
way when your
idea.
guests show up, they can get a little munchy before the big party happens. And till that turkey's done, right? So we'll pop all these guys out. Let me help you, sir. Yeah, and with these deviled eggs, you can do the whole process and
Right.
let them sit, and they're gonna be fine.
Well, and actually better when the flavors all go gel together. I love that idea. It's just having a party or an event is too much work to do it all right before. So I really love the idea of separating that.
And for me, I don't want to see any of it typically when I'm done with the party, so it's get it out of here.
Yeah.
So this is here. We're going to need our jalapeno. We're going to use our spoon for this bad guy. Those seeds out, take that vein out. Make sure you wash your hands after you handle your jalapeno. That way you don't accidentally rub your eye in jalapeno juice. It's never a fun day after that, I'll tell you. So with these guys, we're gonna wanna get them as small as possible. Because you're not gonna wanna take a big bite and it be overpowering to
Right.
what we're looking for.
So sort of a julienne cut, and then you're just cutting it.
Real
from there.
fine, and then the brunoise will be the dice after the julienne.
Oh, the brunoise.
The
I
brunoise,
don't think I've ever heard that before.
very tiny, small, teeny tiny like this.
I can smell it. I mean, that's so strong. If you want a little less jalapeno, you can put less in there.
Absolutely. It's all up to your heat monitor.
I love spicy, so this is good for me, but yes, it could be.
So bacon, same thing. We're gonna want to chop it up nice and fine, and you'll see how crisp.
Very crisp. Now you baked in the oven, but you didn't drain it and strain it, like, or try to tap it or with paper towel. No, you left it.
I just left it. I mean, all that kitchen gold, as I call it, that bacon fat. We're gonna want to use some of that to flavor our egg yolk mixture.
But I also noticed when you baked it, a lot of it drained to the sides and that didn't get on it.
Yeah, so I mean, when you pull your bacon out of the oven, you can throw it on a plate that's got paper towels, so that way it'll take any of that excess off.
Oh, there's our
There's
timer.
our dates. Let's check those guys out. How's our
Ooh,
bacon?
we are making progress.
Yeah.
Bacon's not quite done.
What do you think?
Do you turn
No,
them at all? Or do you leave them?
Let's leave them just like that. They're looking pretty good. Let's do another 4 minutes.
Okay.
All right, so now we got our bacon, we got our jalapeno, we got our egg yolks. We're gonna need our Dijon mustard. We're gonna need our mayonnaise.
Got it.
Figured they would trick me.
Yeah. Always do.
Always do.
Miranda finished her eggs and sent us a picture. It looked delightful.
Yum.
Oh, fantastic. So they're ahead of us. She's ahead of us.
Yes, yes.
All right, what else do we got going on our nose? Salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper, got that.
A little bit of apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, I got it there. I just didn't know if we had it out. This man. Oh, perfect.
So this guy, we're gonna use 1/4 of a teaspoon. I would say that's it.
Right, that's pretty, that has a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing out there? Any photos to share? Are you getting hungry for your appetizers? Everything's looking good.
I just want to mush a little mayonnaise in here.
How much?
Tell you when. More.
We're falling behind.
Right there. That's okay.
Where are you?
We haven't put anything in our egg yolks yet. We were drinking.
Wait, if you're drinking, then you're just not paying. You're doing something else. But that's good. You're having fun. We love it.
You haven't done anything else with the bruschetta, right? It's just the tomatoes marinating with everything?
Correct. Yeah.
That is correct.
I had to
No,
run
you
outside
don't.
and get basil. We had to go get basil from our tree bush.
Oh,
Okay, let's catch up.
There we go. Nice creamy smooth texture. Mashing all them yolks down. That way when we go to put it back in,
all blended together evenly.
yeah.
Well, it smells great. Really good.
So one thing,
Make it you a plate to put that on.
yeah. Or we can just do one of these guys, Beth, if you want.
Oh, you have plates. Perfect. There you go.
So like we did with the goat cheese,
Right.
you could put it in a Ziploc sandwich bag
Cut the
and
corner.
then you just pipe it in there and makes it
Oh, that's a great
easy,
idea.
nice, easy.
And we
chip
always
form.
have Ziploc bags. So that's a sandwich bag. That's a great idea.
All right, let's check our date.
Oh, no, that's
Ooh,
much
looking
better.
Looking better.
Oh, yeah.
I say just
Oh, still a
a
little.
little more.
Yep.
Let's do 4 more minutes. I think that'll give us right what we're looking for.
Okay.
So you're just gonna want to fill your eggs. There should be plenty of mixture to go around. Nice, like such.
Slippery sucker.
Mhm. So, So did everyone sign up for their pie this year?
That's a great question. Did you
Yeah,
all sign
we
up?
did.
We are picking them all up on Saturday and they're gonna get ready for delivery.
I'm excited. Go right down the center.
Fun, guys.
We have what?
2 thumbs up on fun.
Oh,
Fun?
good. It is fun.
It is. Go.
And actually, this particular event tonight is really hands-on. People can do it together. You can all vote, multiple people can be doing different things. So it's nice.
Yeah, and like, you know, the whole process of all this that we're doing is getting people together, get to cook in your home, learn a few things, and then you get to apply it however else you want to.
Exactly.
those guys. And what I would do with that next is take some of our scallions that were cut. Okay. And just
So these are scallions. Oh, a little.
little garnish for
plain.
them.
Yeah.
Just like such.
Ooh,
And those guys are ready to go.
lovely.
All right, let's get our vessel ready for our spinach artichoke. Little pan spray. That way it makes it easier to. Yeah. Just thought of a good one to do. So one I like to do is elote. You familiar with elote?
I'm not.
So elote is roasted corn. And what you do is you roast your corn and then you mix it with a little bit of mayonnaise and chili powder and lime juice and cilantro.
Okay.
And then you put it in a baking dish like this and bake it and serve it as a dip, as opposed to serving it on the cob.
Oh, really? And we also have, we could put this on something.
We sure do.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, what do you think? I feel like those are done.
I think so, because remember, they're gonna crisp up when we take them out, so let's go ahead, let's set them up. So our bacon here, see how it's browned nicely? It's gonna continue to cook, right? So it'll continue to crisp up like we saw from the bacon that we cooked earlier.
So I don't ever think that, so I probably tend to overcook because I want it to be done like when I take it out, but bacon will continue to cook that.
Here's an example. Look at this piece here. So see that? Too far in the oven.
Right.
What you want to do is you want to pull it out like this stage, so then that way it'll finish to crisp up like we saw when we.
I know that really did crisp up.
Yep, nicely. So remember, it'll cook for like another 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Okay.
And you want it to crisp nicely. If you're pulling it out at this point too far,
Yeah, way too long.
yeah,
Okay.
you want to pull it out when it's
Still a
just
little
starting to
pink.
brown up. It's starting to crisp. See how right here it's crisping up a little bit?
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for, and you're ready to go. It'll crisp nicely. It'll be pliable but crunchy.
Perfect.
Right.
That's a great example.
This one is the
Don't
shatter.
already done.
Right,
Already
absolutely.
too crispy done. Overcooked.
All right, so now we have our spinach dip in its
Perfect.
vessel. We're gonna get our Parmesan cheese. Just put a nice light little touch on here.
Perfect.
And then this is gonna go into the oven. Such.
Fantastic. I'll put that in.
Okay, let's do 10 minutes on that guy.
All right.
And then let's move on to our scallops.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
All right. We are getting there.
We are almost there.
Gotta get rid of this.
That's all right. All right. And we got those. We got our bacon. We're gonna need a sheet pan. Won't do this yet. We're gonna need our toothpicks. We're gonna need our bacon.
Just a little bacon in this these appetizer. It's all good.
It is all good. Same thing with our dates. We want to make sure we're just using the regular cut of bacon, not the
Right.
real thick one. I'm just gonna go in half with this guy. Because what we're gonna want.
Scallops are a little bigger, so we want that a little bit bigger.
Yeah, because we're gonna wrap the scallop this way and not this way.
Gonna go around the edges.
Yes, we're gonna go around like this.
Almost roll it.
Mm-hmm.
Leave these
Yeah,
open?
drop, we just put some on the cutting board there for me.
I will, but they're like tricky skills here.
So same process, lay out your bacon. That way it'll make your rolling a lot easier. And your scallops. And you can go all the way through, it's gonna be okay, because we're gonna flip these one time.
Okay, that would be good. So you get the other side as well.
Yeah, so then that way we can make sure that
Scallop is cooked through.
our bacon's crisp. Ain't it?
Oh, okay. So the bacon will actually probably take a little longer than the scallop, or
Yes.
that's why it's, okay.
Well, we'll cook it on a higher temperature. The bacon's gonna protect the scallop, so to speak, so that it doesn't overcook
Okay.
because it's on the inside of it. So that way it'll help maintain or help capture the moisture of the scallop to sit in here and not really release it a whole lot. And the reason we'll flip them is because the bacon will crisp more on one side than the other, and then that way you flip them over and you'll get a better cook of that. Plus it'll allow the scallop to pretty much evenly cook and not just too done on one side.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like to take these guys and take like some apricot preserve,
Mm-hmm.
mix it with some barbecue sauce
Okay.
and brush it on here. So
On a scallop or on the
just
two- all of
like
it?
this. Oh yeah, just like that.
Okay, so apricot, like apricot,
Any jam or preserve,
okay,
and then just thin it out, a little bit of water, a little bit of bourbon, and some barbecue sauce. Grill those guys, just brush them on like we're gonna do today. We're gonna do soy and a little maple syrup. So similar flavor, but not the same. Same concept though. So all we're gonna do is add to the flavor of the scallop and the bacon, enhance it, and not overpower it at all.
ooh, that sounds very good. I think the apricot with the barbecue sauce sounds
Yeah.
very interesting.
It's delicious. How's everyone doing at home? Keeping up?
We have a lot of scallops there.
You're busy, they can't text in the group chat.
There's a lot going on at home.
It's good.
Here, why don't we throw, I'll do some too.
Okay.
You go on that end, I'll go on this end.
Perfect.
So approximately for this particular recipe, how many people do you think we'll be serving?
For the whole everything or just the scallops?
Or maybe per item that we prepared, or I don't know if they're all similar sized or not.
So rule of thumb, 2 per person. You know, I think that would be enough, especially if it's just an appetizer. I mean, if it's an appetizer party, you're gonna probably do 3 per person. We have 5 apps, so you're talking, we got 4 appetizers and then the spinach artichoke dips kind of.
It looks like there's a lot of that.
It is, so you can do it 2 ways. You can put them out individually on like tortilla chips, like the little scoops, the
Like the call
little
scoops, yeah.
tortilla scoops. So you could take your spinach artichoke dip and put them into there. so that that way it is its own. Someone can just pick it up and grab it and walk away and eat it. I would plan on doing like 5 of those per person. If you're gonna do something a little bit bigger, that'll be, 4 or 5 bites per, then about 3 per person. So you're talking, you're gonna have 15 pieces of appetizers by the time you're done eating. Should be about right. Okay.
Now, if we don't use all those tonight, what do I do with that?
So what you do with these guys
Uh-huh.
is you get your frying pan, your cast iron skillet, nice and hot,
Okay.
a little bit of butter, real quick, sear on one side, sear on the other side. You're talking a scallop this big, 2 minutes aside.
Okay.
Then you pull them out. Then you take some fresh sage, dump it into your butter, saute it up, cook it a little bit, pour it right over the top of this.
Okay.
Or a brown butter. You ever made a brown butter before? So
Steve has.
brown butter is just cooking butter long enough to turn it brown.
Okay.
So like garlic, butter will burn quickly. So you want to be very, very careful. What happens when you brown butter is it gives it a real nutty flavor,
Right.
and it goes very, very well on top of scallops,
Okay.
especially with the sage. So what you would do is take unsalted butter and cook it on a medium heat to where you'll see it'll start to turn. As soon as you start to see the butter turning brown, remove it from the heat and have your chopped up sage, dump it in there. Be careful because it's going to splash.
Butter. Okay.
Because the moisture from the sage is going to pop in the fat, which would be frying it technically. So that way you want to be careful in that process, but then scoop that over some scallops and excellent.
Okay, good. That
Mhm.
sounds great.
What oven temp do we cook the bacon wrapped scallops at?
We are going to be high, 500 or broil. So because the reason we want to cook them high is so we can crisp that bacon as fast as possible without cooking the scallops too much.
So if you were gonna do these on the stove, would you soften, partially pre-cook your bacon?
So if you're gonna pan sear, just like we were talking about with the brown butter sage sauce. So if we're gonna pan sear them, yes, we would want to par cook the bacon. You want to get it to where the edges are just starting to crisp, but the bacon is still pliable. You don't want it to be crispy to where you can't roll the scallop in the bacon. You want to be able to roll it all the way through. And then same thing, make sure your pan's nice and hot, and then you'll just sear on each side. So
Gotcha.
if you were gonna pan sear these, you're talking 3 to 4 minutes aside,
Okay.
and then they should be done.
Now, for us, we have our artichoke dip in there. Do we
Mhm.
need to change the temperature, turn the other oven on?
No,
We're gonna
we're gonna turn our oven up here.
Okay.
We're gonna be able to place this right on top of our pan. We'll have to put it
Underneath.
back in there. Well, we want the scallops up higher. If you're gonna
Okay, so
broil.
we can move those down.
Yep, so if you're gonna broil, you want them just like the lobster tails, close
High
to
as
that high heat as
Understand.
possible. So that way it'll crispen. That's what we're looking to do, is cooking the bacon and the scallop, but not overcooking the scallop while cooking the bacon enough.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right, so probably there's a niche in here, just one and one, so you can lower it, you can set it on that bottom one.
So then,
That's coming along.
yeah, it's looking nice, huh? Nice little crisp to it. Set that guy down. All right. Let's turn our heat off. .480 is as high as we got, so that's what we'll work with. Before we get these in. So let's pop our scallops in, and
Perfect.
then we'll make our glaze so we can brush it on top. So that way when we flip them, we'll brush them. let them go a little, and then we'll flip them, and then we'll brush them again, so that way we'll have that nice flavor too as well.
Fantastic.
So these guys are gonna go in. We're gonna set a timer. Let's go 5 minutes. We got our brush there.
Yep, getting the brush out.
We
Do
got
you
our,
want me to put these back in the fridge?
absolutely. We got our soy sauce. We got our garlic powder, our crushed red pepper, our maple syrup. What else we need for these guys?
Somebody said,
These guys.
I cooked a couple of scallops before the Zoom started and found with my oven, I need to reduce the cooking time.
The time or temperature.
They said cooking time.
Yep, and that's one of those things from, so each oven's gonna cook differently, right? So if we have a convection oven or a conventional oven, convection is gonna allow the heat in the oven to circulate evenly to then cook evenly. A conventional oven is going to heat the oven, the top and the bottom, or just the top or just the bottom. So having a convection will help with that process. If it's on broil, it's only going to come from the top anyway. So we want to make sure that they're close to it, but not right up on it with it burning bacon, because we don't want to do that. We're going to need a whisk. Soy sauce. We got our syrup. And one thing you can do with this when you're done is we're gonna brush and we're gonna cook with it. We can put this into a saute pan and cook it and reduce it down so it's like real glaze like.
I was gonna
You
say
can brush-
thicker.
yep,
Yep,
then you can brush it right on the top and it'll be sticky and
great.
delicious.
I love the idea of putting the maple syrup in there. That's a good flavor mix.
Yes, with soy sauce too,
Mhm.
so.
It's a little more salty.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
And this isn't brown sugar, so it's a
Right.
whole different, this is
Whole
gonna
different thing.
pair very, very well with our bacon.
Right.
Yeah.
One person found that high was too much for their bacon, so maybe if they broiled on the lower setting or something for that particular oven.
Or lower your scallops in the oven. If it's too high, you think, then bring it down a level so that it's not sitting so close to the broiler.
That's a good point, because it might still be need the high heat.
You need that high heat to crisp that bacon. So now we got this guy. Same thing with this one. You can make this in days in advance and let it do its thing.
Okay.
You don't gotta worry about it. We're not missing nothing on that, right? No,
No?
just our soy sauce, our maple syrup. Done.
So the only thing we're really doing next is the bread, right?
Yeah, so let's
Throw that in as well.
get that ready.
Are we gonna brush it from here on?
We're
Or are we gonna
we'll
warm it?
brush it over there.
Right.
No, we'll brush it onto our scallop.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll create a location over here.
So let's get our bread ready to go. And our handy dandy La Brea take and bakes. So you can do these in really any way you want. If you're looking, you can do them smaller. So if you're wanting to serve more of them, you can go that way. If you're wanting to do less of them, you're gonna cut them on a bias like this. So in that way you get a bigger piece than that one. So that one is straight across. This one's on the bias. I prefer doing them a little bit on the bias like that.
I like that too.
And you're gonna wanna go up almost, I'd say about a pinky width. So
Okay.
it's not too much, but it's not too little. So if they're too thin, this is gonna get too hard too fast,
Right.
right? So If you went this thin, I would only toast one side. I wouldn't flip it to the other side. I would just toast it, let it set. It'll crisp up on its own.
So you can kind of see through it a little bit. So if you,
I
this is
would go a little
thicker.
thicker, yep.
Okay.
So about that.
That was our 4 minutes, right?
On our scallops,
Do we pull them out and
let's
glaze?
put some glaze on them.
Okay.
Yeah, see how our bacon's crisping up nicely
Yeah,
there?
and you can see the, yeah, really. Good. All right. We got you there.
All right, so all we're gonna do with these guys is we're just gonna kind of just blot it, right? And that way it'll do its thing. And we're gonna go 2 minutes,
All right.
and then we're gonna flip them, and then we'll do another. When we flip them, we'll put some.
All right. These look amazing though. I
Some
mean,
love on
I'm
it.
super excited about this one.
So you could just smell that soy sauce as soon as you hit it on there.
All right.
All
I'll
right,
pull it
back in.
Yep.
Let's do the 2 minutes
2
on those.
minutes.
Let's do 2
Chop,
minutes
chop.
and then we'll flip them over.
All right. 2 minutes.
And we'll lay on our little bruschetta pieces. Like such.
I could probably pull out the, when we're ready, we'll pull out the artichoke, put that down there as well.
Yeah, because let's heat this whole and then we'll slice it for the artichoke
Perfect.
dip. So we can use this to eat with our artichoke dip. We got our bruschettas there. We
And
got
we'll
our
take-
scallops, we got our dates.
And we're gonna pull the artichoke out and then we're going to, I'll just cover it with oil.
That'll work.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna give this guy a quick stir.
You want me to put the bread in?
Not yet.
I guess.
With our bruschetta mixture, our crostinis. We'll be ready to go. Look at this guy. Nice little Parmesan crisp right up on top there. Delicious. So you can just leave it when you
Leave it?
have to cover it.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
As hot as that is, it'll stay hot for quite some time, actually.
Perfect.
So let's pop these guys in. We're gonna go 2 minutes, which we're working on 20 seconds there. Okay, this is here, this is here. We're ready. So now we want to start thinking about how are we gonna serve our appetizers?
Absolutely.
What kind of platters? What are we thinking about doing, right?
Perfect.
And that's where we start thinking. As you're doing your prep, you want to think about these things so that way you'll have a good idea.
You want me to pull that out?
Pull the
While you're grabbing
scallops.
your- Yeah.
I'm gonna grab some spatula, probably be the easiest tongs. There we go. See our bacon's doing good. It's crisping.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put these guys over. So the bigger the scallop, the better.
Yeah, that's look great. All right, you can see that appetizers, there's a lot that goes into these. Really, I mean, there's a
Absolutely.
lot going on
For
here.
finger foods, it's definitely something that could get a little tricky. So yes, prepping ahead, making sure that you stay, you know, these are things that are quick. You've noticed how attentive we have to be to these
Absolutely.
because of what we're doing.
And the temperatures we're cooking at?
Correct. For Christine.
You need 4 hands in the kitchen. Okay.
Into the other one again.
Morton's is a great class.
Let's do, what was our first one? 5 minutes? Let's do 5 minutes.
Then we were 4 last. Yeah.
Okay.
So we got some different plates, some different things to do. We got our eggs plated up.
Perfect.
We got different shapes and sizes.
And colors.
So what are we doing? What do we got? Where do we want to serve it, right? So something dark, like our dates. We wouldn't want to put our dates in here because you're gonna lose them.
Right.
Something on white, right? So the color contrast will be good. We got our scallops we could put on a platter like that. Will be nice.
Artichoke dip, bruschetta.
There's that. Bruschettas we'll put on. You can actually, we'll do our bruschettas here since they're flat. We'll do our scallops there.
Well, that's good.
We got our cocktails for everybody. Let's check that. Christine. See that guy?
Mhm.
Crisp, but still.
Yeah.
So let's give them a quick flip and then we'll do 2 more minutes because we don't want them to be too hard.
Or too soft. Kind
Right.
of that balance in between.
Yeah, and if we just did the one side, then this side will say too soft.
Right.
So we'll let those ride right on the scallop buzzer.
So should we plate our bacon wrap dates?
Yeah.
That way we're
It's ready to go.
moving along. Fantastic, looks great.
And then what do we wanna do?
Right here. Right.
So just something, I mean, something as simple as this. This one's too tall.
Right, that looks great.
Just something so just simple, right? And then
Right.
the beauty of it being that simple is you can pick around it and you don't have to worry about it. When it's done, it's done. You can pull it right out and let everybody do what they want to do with it. So then that way we don't have to worry about it. Okay, let's finish it.
Perfect.
We're gonna pull out the shadows. Give those one more second. So
You want me
these
to bring
guys
your
are gonna,
plate?
here
You bruschetta?
we can go right here.
Okay. Different spoon, okay. So I see you're careful not to get too much juice in there.
Yeah, because
Otherwise this
remember,
could be
we're
soggy.
just gonna sog out that bread and we just wanna get the tomatoes and the garlic, the basil.
You can also buy crostini already ready in the store. So it's already done, it's crispy, and you can use that.
Let's take a look at our scallops. I think they're gonna need a couple more minutes. Let's see them here. We're close. Let's do 2 minutes and then we're done. Super close.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay.
Yep.
There's that, there's that.
We're getting there. We're just about there. Is everybody hanging in there? This is a lot tonight.
It sounds like holiday cooking.
I know, which is a lot, right?
We haven't even got to the meal yet.
I know, that's the scary part. Cause a lot of appetizers to have at one event, but I could see where if you had a lot of people over, you'd really want that,
Right.
some variety. Are you guys seeing any photos? Anybody sending photos of their dishes yet? Everybody's so busy scurrying.
There's no rush.
There is no rush. It's gonna be great when you get there. Oh, fantastic. Probably not warm for you.
And if you're doing a drizzle on the bruschetta, would you just reduce regular?
Balsamic, brown sugar, balsamic, red wine, brown sugar, herbs. Whether it's just like a little bit of Italian, you want to do just the basil, either one.
And if you're able to do dishes next week, this will be recorded and sent out to everyone.
I think we're there. I say we pull.
Fulham, okay.
We gotta, somebody shared their screen of their bruschetta.
Fantastic.
Let's go ahead. So let's let those guys.
Sit for a minute. Can we do one more drizzle?
Might as well. One last little.
And the same person is sharing their scallops, also look awesome.
Oh, great.
Good.
So everything's getting done. Your dishes are getting complete.
So those guys are gonna crisp up.
Perfect. So toasty.
And
We don't need this one, right?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I have to say, what a fantastic night. This is amazing. This is really holiday cooking.
Yeah, absolutely. Just nice little appetizers, gets people started.
Looks amazing,
We got a good variety here too, lots of different stuff.
right? For lots of different flavors for
We
people.
could have called this class How to Use Bacon.
I know, I was thinking the same thing. A lot of bacon, although 2 of our dishes, thank goodness, don't have bacon in,
Right.
but
Well, and all, I mean, the dates, you can just put the goat cheese in the date and leave it just like that.
Right,
As
without
is.
the
You don't
bacon.
even have to put the bacon in, absolutely.
So, one of our viewers, Barbara, had a cool idea. She left some julienne, jalapeno and put them on top of the eggs.
Mm-hmm. You could do that.
oh,
Yeah,
that's pretty. And it adds a lot of color.
absolutely.
Over there.
All right, let's take the bake. These guys.
Or somebody top theirs with bacon and the extra pieces on top.
Oh, that's a great
Yeah,
idea.
Nice garnish there.
Oh, we're gonna prep this, perfect.
So here, we're just gonna pull these out.
Oh, remove the toothpicks.
I mean, unless you're trying to pick your teeth while you eat your scallop.
It's always good to remove them.
Big ones on the bottom first, so we can stack.
I think that looks so pretty too. I mean, it really, with the crispy bacon around the edges.
Ooh, getting more pictures.
Oh, we're getting photos. I love it. Is it a little small?
What's that?
Is that a little small? You're gonna put it in there?
Not too bad. I mean, we could. Such.
Oh, that looks
This would
great.
go here next to the bread. One thing you can do.
Oh, that looks great.
Voila. Just
Wow.
like, just like that.
It's amazing.
Few different things, few different ways. And like I was saying, you could take your breads and your spinach dip and you can set them up just like your bruschetta, so that way it's just grab and go. You don't
I
have to
like that
worry about,
idea.
you don't have to worry
Scooping
about people messing it up or ruining it all. All you gotta do is set them up just like that. You can pipe it in a bag, like you said, or you just put a little dollop on there and make it as rustic as you want it to be.
Perfect.
And then that way your guests just pick it up and carry on the party and enjoy themselves,
Right,
right?
it's amazing. It looks so good. Well, thank you all. Thank you for joining us tonight. This was a lot of work and I know you guys are ready to eat. Do you have any pictures? Please send all of your photos in. We'd love to see them. And please give us some ideas for next year. We're really looking forward to a great year with all of you.
Absolutely.
And happy Thanksgiving next week. From the Rider League team, Chef Jude, and have a Merry Christmas. I think we're not doing one in December,
We're
right?
skipping December and
Yep.
then we'll be up and
Back in
running.
line on
We're gonna
January.
be making pizza in
I'm
January.
so excited.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fantastic. And you guys, we are gonna miss you, but we will see you back in January. Look for our schedule. And again, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you soon.
Happy holidays, everyone. Thank you for joining.